Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Quarantine with Rosh. Now, today's episode is not me interviewing a cricketer, but this interview is very special to me because one of the reasons why I got an interest in cricket was because of Hindi cinema and Hindi shows. So today's guest is Tanuj Virwani, or you may know him as Vayu Raghavan from Inside Edge. So we're just going to kind of talk about that combination of cinema shows and cricket, kind of why it came to be, what the importance of it is, and then also kind of get to know his cricket background as well because he actually loves cricket. So and also kind of the preparation that went behind for Inside Edge. So I'm just going to wait for him to join, but stay tuned because it's going to be a lot of fun. Well, welcome Tanush to Quarantine with Rosh. How have you been?
Hi,
How
Rosh.
is this
How's it going?
quarantine?
Thank you so much for having me over here. Yeah.
No, actually, this is really special for me because I was born and raised in America, and one of the reasons that I got interested in cricket was because of Hindi cinema and Hindi shows. So that's kind of
Right,
where I found what cricket was. And then when I went to India,
right,
I would
right,
see
right.
kids playing it. So yeah, it's really cool to kind of get that combination in.
Correct, correct, correct.
So what have you been doing these days during the lockdown?
Oh man, it's so like when lockdown started last month, first all of us thought maybe it might just go on for a few days or maybe a
Hmm.
week or two max, right? But
Yeah, yeah,
I started wrapping my head around the fact that this might just be the new normal for the time being. It might be a while, maybe a few
yeah,
months before we go back to any semblance of normalcy.
yeah,
So in the meanwhile, see, one of two things is going to happen, right? You either completely implode and go crazy, or
yeah,
then you use this time and you reason with yourself that, hey, like this is where you need to perhaps spend time with yourself, something which
yeah.
a lot of us do not do because we're all part of this rat race. We're always
Exactly, exactly.
trying to run from A to B, and especially in a place like Bombay, which is so fast paced and so competitive in nature, given the industry that I come from. So, in a way, it's nice that everyone has to kind of pause and take a look into the mirror and see where they lack and what they can work on, be it personally, be it professionally, just be it on their skill set. So I'm
Yeah,
just trying to use this time to kind of be productive and work on myself. I mean, as an actor, you can never claim that you know everything. I mean, every time you think you know everything, I think that's uh, it just humbles you in some way. So
hmm,
there's something new to learn. What I've done is I've made a schedule of what I plan on doing on a daily basis, and I kind of adhere to that schedule. So it kind of keeps me on track and keeps me driven. So yeah,
yeah. No, that's really good. I remember for me, the first 2 weeks, I was the same way where I thought, this will end. IPL will definitely happen, at least in April or something like that. And then first two
man,
weeks done nothing. And then after that, I was like, okay, I need to do something with my life that's actually productive.
wouldn't it be amazing if the IPL was on right now? I mean, like
I
lockdown would
know.
have been so much easier. Like I am so addicted to watching the IPL every year ever since its inception back in 2007, right? I mean, those 45 days every year is just, I mean, I forget everything and everyone else. And it's just like from
Exactly.
4 p.m. onwards till 12:30 a.m., boom. It's like you got your double headers, you got your
Yeah,
games on. And I mean, it's so much fun. It's so much of thrill attached to it. I
mhm,
really do miss the IPL.
I know. So, what are you missing the most right now, kind of being at home?
Um, Definitely being in front of the camera. I mean, because I was actually smack in the middle of this one project that I'm working on
Yeah,
called Balaji, called Cartel. It's like this really interesting big project that we're
yeah,
making, and like so we had kind of gained a lot of momentum because we were shooting around the clock non-stop, and all of a sudden to have the plug pulled and everyone just grounded. So I kind of miss that. I miss that a lot, and I just miss getting out of the house. It's been
yeah.
32 days since I've stepped out of my home. It's insane, right? But you got to do what you got to do for the greater good, because it's the first time in the longest time, or at least in our lifetimes, where basically what we do individually as well as collectively as a society are kind of walking hand in hand. So yeah, it,
Yeah, no, I
people
think
have it
it's
a lot
like
worse, so I shouldn't
exactly.
complain. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I think it's like one of the first time like in history where the entire world is kind of on the same page.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
usually when
absolutely.
something like this happens, maybe it could happen in one country or something, but it's like the
Yeah,
whole world is, on the same page like
exactly.
this.
Exactly. So like the more I think about it, I'm like, it seems like a bad dream. It seems like something that I just want to like wake up from, but it's not happening. So
Hmm.
maybe there's far out there a silver lining, some good reason for all of this to be happening.
Yeah.
Which we can't quite see now. I feel to some extent we are realizing that we have been abusing our
Hmm.
resources, abusing our planet, taking everything for granted, treating it like we are
Exactly.
the center of the
Yeah.
universe, which we really aren't. Uh,
Hmm.
uh, Bombay, for that matter, has gotten a lot bluer. The skies are bluer. I can finally
Yeah.
see birds again.
Hmm.
It seems a lot nicer. So I already
Yeah.
feel that there is a positive effect to everything that's happening. But
Hmm.
having said that, I just hope that once we hopefully emerge from this entire situation, we don't go back to being the way we were. There
Yeah.
must be some permanent changes in our being. So I think that's very important. So yeah,
Yeah, no,
hope
definitely.
so.
That's really true. So I do need to ask, I've seen videos of you playing cricket, during this lockdown. So do you have like nets on the terrace or
Yes, I actually do. I think that's the best decision I have made in the longest time. So we had a terrace, and for the longest time, I'm like, I want to do something with it, right? I mean, because like what? Otherwise, you end up coming there maybe once or twice a month if you're socializing. You've got people
yeah,
over.
yeah.
So around the time when I was training for Inside It season one, this is before we started shooting. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever coaching they're giving us is great, but I want to be better. I want to be the best version of myself. So I'm like, I just had this thing that why don't I looked at the dimensions and I'm like, okay, I mean, we could do something over here. I mean, it's not a full length
Yeah.
pitch, but
Yeah.
we could do something. So I'm like, yeah. So I kind of went about planning and building the entire thing. So we built it about 3 years back, and man, is it coming in handy right now or what? Because that's something I do without fail every day. I
Yeah.
love playing cricket. I love batting specifically. So it's not competitive cricket right now. I've just got my staff like really throwing the ball at me as hard as they can. Like
Yeah.
they throw it on my face, they throw it on my toes, they're all over the place. But at least it keeps me going. It keeps me alert. It prevents me from getting rusty. And you know,
Hmm.
um, sport is something I love, and I don't think we're going to have sport for a while. So this is the next best thing. So why not?
No, I know. I was so jealous. I was like, I mean, I can go in my backyard, but I would just need someone to bowl to me because I love batting as well. So I was
I
like,
love.
that's so
I
cool.
mean, batting is joy. Batting is, like coming from someone who loves cricket as well. So you understand what I
Yeah.
mean, right? I mean, batting
Yeah,
batting is joy.
definitely. So growing up, did you get a lot of like acting tips from your mother as well? Because I mean, I've personally
Um,
seen so many movies with her in it. So was that kind of something that
See,
you also
Roshni, actually, the
developed?
thing is, yeah. See, growing up, I didn't know myself for the longest time that I wanted to be an actor, and even once I had kind of decided in my head, I was not confident enough to go and really voice that to my parents or to anyone for that matter, because I
Hmm.
was a very different person back then. I was quite the introvert. I was a bit of a
Yeah.
fatty. I had a bit of a stammer. I had braces. I had glasses.
Hmm.
I mean, you name it. I mean, like, yeah,
Yeah.
the stereotypical nerd, you could say. None of the attributes that one may want in an actor, in a mainstream actor. So I had to really work on myself. And once I felt that at least I was halfway there, that's when I went and I told my mom that, hey, I am actually contemplating becoming an actor as a full-time thing.
Hmm.
This is what I want to do in my life, with my life. She's been very supportive. So she doesn't necessarily give me too many tips about acting per se. Um, she does, however, give me some really amazing tips about how to function within the industry. And one of the most important things that she has told me is that it's not a typical 9 to 5 job, right? I mean, like,
Hmm.
you could be having a fight at home, you could be having a fight with your girlfriend, you could be in the worst mood, and next thing you're going to come on set and perform a romantic scene or a comedy scene or a
Yeah.
drama scene or an action scene. I
Yeah.
mean, so you've got to leave that. So it's very important as an actor for me to be able to compartmentalize my life. So she has always said that it's going to be a very heady industry. One Friday, you're going to be right up here. Your film may do really well, and suddenly, like, simple thing, everyone prays for the rising sun. Next day,
Hmm.
you might be down here. No one even wants to look at you. Again, you'll come back. So
Yeah.
it's nothing's constant. The only constant in this industry is change, just like it is in life, I guess, right? But it's a lot more dramatic and a lot more pronounced over here. So she just told me one thing. She's like, never let that success either go to your head, and never take failure to your heart, because no matter how bleak or how dark things may seem, the sun will rise again, just as it will set. So you're going to see both. So you need to be truthful to who you are. Why did you get into this line in the first place? For the popularity, for the fame, for the money. That's all great. Those are fringe benefits. That's all secondary. But you got into it for the art, because you want to be an actor. So as long as you keep focusing on your process and not worrying too much about the results, you'll be fine. So that's
Yeah.
that's
So now
something
if you
that's a code that I literally lead my life, keeping that code in mind.
Yeah, that's really
Yeah.
important. So now if you had to be quarantined with one of your co-actors from Inside Edge, who would you choose?
Probably Siddhant Chaturvedi, because
Okay.
he's a really good friend of mine, and he's just so entertaining, and he's so freaking talented. I mean, like, the guy can sing, dance, rap, paint, write poetry, do gymnastics, do all kinds of things. So I'm sure he would keep me thoroughly entertained, and
Yeah.
he's a good friend of mine. So absolutely.
Okay. So let's move on to some of your cricket moments. When did you get interested in cricket? Did you play when you were younger?
Yeah. So my love affair with cricket started in '96 during the Wills World Cup that took place in India. Okay, so before that I was more into like tennis and other sports, maybe a bit of basketball. But around then, cricket fever just took over India, and it was crazy. And back then we used to live at our old home, which was like this big colony. So all the kids would get together every evening after school, and we would play. And it was by the beach, so we would go onto the beach and play. And those are my earliest memories of playing. And now I never held a bat in my life. No one's ever taught me how to play cricket. What are the technicalities? Nothing at all. But I just learned by playing with my friends in my colony, and then I started taking it really seriously. Even though I did not, I never thought of playing professionally, but I want to be the best player in my colony. I want to be the best batsman. I want to hit it as far as I possibly could. That was my plan. So I'm a single child, so I don't have any siblings and stuff at home. So I would often bounce the ball against a wall and just keep knocking it, or like put the ball in the sock and tie it with the hook, and kind of just keep stroking it just to kind of get my game right. And it's crazy, right? I mean, Roshni, so many years later, I get offered Inside Edge, and everything works out over there, and I'm playing a cricketer, and I'm supposed to be like this awesome cricketer and stuff. So it made my job a lot easier. And bear in mind that up until today, I am not a trained cricketer. I have never trained professionally, except for the training camps that Inside Edge, the production provides us. So yeah.
Now, have you attended? I mean, I'm assuming you probably have attended some matches, but do you have any memories of live matches you've seen?
Oh, I've been for a lot of games. So I actually love Test cricket. Okay, because
Me too.
I mean, with all due respect to one-day cricket and T20s and all, but T20 requires a different skill set. It's also a bit of luck, and it's like a throw of the dice. Anything can happen, right? I mean, you need before 8 runs of 2 balls, you Inside Edge them, it goes for 4. I mean, it gets counted as a boundary, but yeah. So, but Test cricket is really fascinating. Now, when I was in college, my college was about a 5-minute walk from the Wankhede Stadium. So we would buy the 5-day passes, and then the first 2 days are very boring in India of these Test matches because it's a complete batsman's paradise. But then this pitch, third day onwards, the pitch starts cracking up. So we would go to the stadium on the third day, and you'd see Sachin Tendulkar batting and all these legends, and Dravid and Ganguly and Lakshman, all these beautiful batsmen out there, watching them live. What a privilege. And then seeing the Srinaths and the Prasads and all these, and Kumble and all these wonderful bowlers coming up and just cleaning out the opposition. So Test cricket is, according to me, the pinnacle of the game. So I have a lot of memories from my college days watching a lot of Test cricket. Then, of course, once the IPL happened, though, I mean, it's like going to a theme park, right? I mean, because there's nothing that comes close to replicating the feel of watching an IPL match, especially if you're watching it in Mumbai at the Wankhede Stadium, because they really do a bang up job. Like, it's amazing. It's like a huge party of 40,000 people. So that's tremendous. And now, because of Inside Edge, I get a chance to go and play cricket and shoot episodes of the show at the very same grounds where I would go as a spectator, which I still go to as a spectator. So it's almost like life coming a full circle, and it's a beautiful feeling when you're standing out there in the middle, and you're like, my God, MSD would be standing here, or Virat Kohli would be standing here, or AB de Villiers would be standing here, and
It's really
I'm
cool, yeah.
literally standing right where they are, and oh, so this is how it feels. It's an out of body experience almost. It's something that I consider myself very, very fortunate and blessed about. So yeah.
Yeah, for me, I mean, unfortunately, because living in America, I mean, we barely get many matches that really happen here. Like,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
have had
yeah.
India came like twice and played
You
here, but
you
I
had
got to
something at
see,
Fort Lauderdale
yeah,
recently, right?
yeah. So
Yeah, yeah,
actually, last year when India was here, I did the MC during the matches. So it was really cool, like announcing Kohli's name when he was batting and everything. So
absolutely,
it was
absolutely.
amazing.
What a joy
But
it
yeah,
is. I mean,
yeah,
when you love a sport, when you love certain individuals as cricketers, and you get to see them live, and I mean, it's amazing.
it is. It really is. So who was your childhood cricket hero?
Sachin Tendulkar, without doubt. I mean, when that man would come out to bat, I kid you not, I'm not even making this up. I would, I was very superstitious, right? Because, uh, especially like if he was going through a bad patch, like especially in an entire period when he would just keep getting out in the 90s and he couldn't get the century. And everyone wanted him like, come
Yeah,
on, Tendulkar, you can get there. So I'd be wearing my badge and my gloves and my helmet would be here. And I remember I used to have a BDM bat back then, a Pukapura ball, and I would be there. And if anyone entered the room, I'd be like, no, you can't enter the room. You have to shut the door, and or you can keep it open at this angle, but the remote has to be at that angle. Like mad, like apeshit level superstitious about like when Sachin, only when Sachin was batting. It was
yeah.
crazy.
Who's your current day favorite?
Current favorite would be Virat Kohli, man. I mean, like, what a guy. What a guy.
Same.
What a guy across all three formats of the game. I mean, like, how consistent is that man, and
Yeah.
how he's blossomed and how he's come into his own ever since he became captain, and ever since he got married. I actually feel that's had such a positive effect on his game.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
earlier he was unbridled aggression, right? Now he's controlled aggression. And I also feel he's benefited a lot because of playing with alongside Dhoni. So he's imbibed all the good qualities of Dhoni as well as his own natural instinct.
Yeah,
So I think he's a guy.
he definitely is. Okay, so how often, right? Well, how often do you play gully cricket at the moment as well? So do you play often? I mean, in terms of, I guess, not like during the lockdown, but in general, is that
Yeah.
something you do pretty often?
So see, Roshni, the thing is, it really depends on shooting schedule. So like just before the lockdown had started, I was on an outdoor for about a month, about 40 days, right?
Yeah,
So obviously when that was happening, there was no chance to play
yeah,
gully cricket. But we do end up playing cricket on set sometimes. It's
yeah,
awesome. Like in case we pack up early, so we take one of the plastic chairs, we turn that
yeah,
the stump, and we'll have the cast will be in one team, the crew
yeah.
will be in the other team, and we play and stuff. That's great fun. But gully cricket, I mean, it's probably been a couple of months, but uh, ever since I shifted to my new home, which has been about 13 years now, we religiously play cricket either every Saturday or every Sunday in my building. So I live in a building called Sterling Seaface. So we have a group called the Sterling Smashers. It's a really lame name, but we've got about 30 odd people in the group. My friends of mine who are from all over Bombay, and they will religiously come every Sunday. In fact, we keep chatting on that group, and we're like, man, how we miss playing. So we'll play, we'll chill, laugh, joke, occasionally grab a can of beer or something. It's really nice, So yeah.
Who's one cricketer you would like to meet and train with? So I don't know if you've gotten a chance to meet Sachin, sir, but who's one cricketer
No,
you
I have
would
not
like?
met Sachin, man.
Okay.
I have not met Sachin Tendulkar. Though, strangely enough, we have the same massage guy. Can you believe it? The
Really?
guy, yeah. It's crazy. So the guy, so my monsieur who comes over and stuff is Sachin Tendulkar's guy as well.
Oh, that's pretty
I get a
cool
lot
then.
of insights. I get a lot of insights too on what's going on in the mind of the great Tendulkar. Yeah. But if I could train with someone, definitely Virat Kohli, man, because I mean, he's, as I said, he's at the top of his game, and
Yeah,
you can see the way the man trains. Your talent and your skill will only take you so much, but you need to have that mental strength. You need to have your body needs to be able to keep up with it. See, once you start moving into your 30s, there's a lot of wear and tear that happens. Be it a batsman, a bowler, whatever you are. So you can see that whether it's his diet, whether it's his regime, he is on the money, and that's why he's kind of inculcated that into the rest of the Indian cricket team. I don't think we've had such a fit bunch of players ever, you
Yeah.
know, and that's going to help us in the long run, you know.
Yeah.
So I definitely think, like experience is great. It's very
Exactly.
good to have experience and stuff. But there's this wonderful quote that Navjot Singh Sidhu said once. He said, experience is a comb that life gives you when you're bald. So whatever that means.
No, I agree. I mean, yeah. Yeah, Virat Kohli, I mean, he's definitely taken, I think, fitness just across cricket, like, you know, all over the world to another level.
His
No,
work
now,
ethic is really, I mean, something that I really salute. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So now, is there any commentary line that you've like that's instilled in you? I know I've seen the commentary that you did, you know, for Inside Edge and like that between Irvin, which was like amazing. I was so jealous. But is there
You
any
know,
kind of line that's been like instilled in you or any kind of like something that you always remember, anything like that, or someone that's your favorite or a line you would like to share?
I'm a really big fan of Jeffrey Boycott, especially when Dada would be batting, because he really likes Saurav Ganguly, right? So, I can't imitate him properly, but every time he like come out to bat, and Ganguly had this patent shot of dancing down the wicket and hitting spinners for like those beautiful, he's stroking them for sixes, right? So he's like, oh, the Prince of Calcutta is here, and he's hit that into the middle of next week. So it'd be really, really good. Prince of Calcutta, you know. And so he had this really, really interesting way of saying that. There's so many of them, you know. I mean, I think the commentators add so much to the game, you know. Like, if you ever watch a cricket match on mute, it's not that much fun. But the moment you put the commentary on, especially when you look at someone like a Danny Morrison, you know, during the IPL and stuff, like that guy's on fire. Then you've got someone who's like a true cricket brain, like a Harsha Bhogle. You got someone like the voice of reason, like a Sunil Gavaskar. You got the Tony Greggs. You got all these guys coming together. Like it's amazing. So I think they all bring their own things. I miss Ravi Shastri in the commentary box.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah.
Definitely. Hopefully they do bring him back for like certain matches again. Like IPL
exactly.
But yeah,
right now, I think
definitely.
they can't. It's a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's move on to kind of Inside Edge. So to start off, what is your take on the mixture of kind of cricket and cinema and shows? Because there's so many movies that have either been based off of cricket or at least have some, like, even if it's a dialogue that's referenced to cricket, you know, because it's so important, one, to the Indian culture as well, but it's something that, you know, is kind of, we've always seen it kind of, you know, on whether it be a show, a movie, and it becomes so important.
Correct. So, I feel firstly the difference between our show and most of the other stuff that's come out is that this is a show that is dedicated to cricket. It is built on cricket. Cricket is the very foundation of the show, after which everything else, be it the politics, be it the glamour, be it the drama, the controversies, arise from. Like if you look at a movie like Lagan, that's a beautiful marriage of a historical epic and the game of cricket, but it's not dedicated to cricket. Of course, there's one hour of the movie which is pretty much just cricket. But I'm saying Inside Edge, even though you're not seeing cricket in every scene, but it is a show that is made by cricket lovers and for cricket lovers. It's as simple as that. Like if you were to sit down and have a word with any of the writers of the show, the creator, Karan Anshuman, any of these guys, you'll understand that all these guys truly love the game. In fact, I used to play cricket with these boys before Inside Edge ever existed. So when we talk about the game and when we show the game, you know, like initially a lot of people were like, oh, but why are you making a show about match fixing and this and that? We're like, no, wait a second. We're not trying to ridicule or run down the game. We're trying to show you that it is a human element that kind of adds all of this shit to the sport. But actually at its core, cricket is a very pure game. It is truly a gentleman's game. And have you seen season 2 of Inside Edge? So you see in the last episode, right? Irrespective of whether the Mumbai Mavericks win or the Hurricanes win, cricket wins that day because they played a clean game. Right. So our point is to show them that, hey, of course, there's a lot of dirt and stench, and which industry, which profession doesn't have it? Bollywood has it. Every single industry, business industries have it. Everyone has it. It's just more glamorous when it comes to cricket and all of that.
Yeah.
So we just want to. So we're telling you guys that, dude, this game will live on. This game will go on irrespective, despite all these people, despite all these nefarious elements that are trying to permeate the game. So I think in a lot of ways, Inside Edge is a love letter to the sport as opposed to us running down any individual or running down the sport. I would never do that. I would never do that. In fact, on day one, I just I can't make any demands, but I requested the writers. I'm like, hey man, please don't let Vayu ever go to the other side and start doing the wrong thing. You know, I mean, even though you think he's doing the wrong thing, he will come through one way or the other. But don't actually make him into a bad guy when it comes to game of cricket, because I don't know, that would break my heart. Of course, I mean, y'all are the boss. Ultimate say is yours. The decision is yours. But I would be a little sad.
Yeah. No, I mean, you could see that even though he was kind of like this bad boy, but you saw, you know, how that he loved the sport and he wasn't going to go over to the other side.
I get
that one match was like...
I get goosebumps every single time I see that scene in the second season towards the end where Arvind and Vayu shake hands and he tells him, pure cricket, no bullshit. Because that is the game. That's the game we grew up loving. Take away the fanfare, take away the glamour, take away the money. It's just bat and ball. And that is the game we grew up loving, and that's what we're trying to show people. Remind them.
Yeah, and I love the episode where, like, you know, at the end where it was like the last ball and I guess it was like 3 runs and, like, you know, where they thought the other team would win and then you went out and I was like, I knew he was gonna do this.
Yeah. And it was beautiful because, you know, like you built up this awesome equation between Vayu and Rohini, and then she's the only person in the stadium, probably the only person in the world who's like, 4 through the covers. Boom, she calls it and he hits that.
I love Rohini's character.
Man,
like whenever anyone,
right?
anyone like watches it, they kind of do reference like, oh, Rohini reminds me of you, because that's something that I love doing. Even like here, I don't really get that chance, but I helped my college team. Like my college had a cricket team. So whenever they have tournaments with other colleges, I would like research the other college and just try to find out, okay, this player did well or whatever. But I loved her character as well, because I was just like,
no.
I wish I had that talent.
It's such a wonderfully etched out character, and Shavani does such a wonderful job of portraying it, you know, and just little things, she doesn't really follow cricket in real life. She doesn't know anything about cricket. So the fact that someone who has very little knowledge about the sport or interest in the sport is able to sell that character to you and make her so lovable and so believable is a testament to how good of an actor she is.
Yeah, no, definitely. So if you met Vayu Raghavan, would you guys get along? So if Tanuj met Vayu, how would that go?
Man, that is actually a pretty awesome question. I have never thought of it. I don't know. Perhaps not, because he is like that lone wolf, right? I mean, he likes to be left in his corner and likes to do what he wants to do on his terms, when he wants to, how he wants to. He has his own method. There's a method to that madness. He has his process, even though many times it may appear that there is simply no process and he's just kind of somehow managing to deliver the goods. I'm kind of like that, man. I like to be left to my own business as well. So when you put 2 strong personalities in close proximity, I don't know if that's a good idea. So maybe not a good idea. There must be social distancing between these 2 guys, between me and Vayu Raghavan. Let them be at 2 opposite ends of the room.
Which character then would you get along with the most?
I think I would get along with Arvind. And the reason I say that is because Angad and Arvind are actually very similar, personality-wise and character-wise. And I love Angad. So I have absolutely no doubt that I would get along with Arvind and get along famously with him.
Okay. What do you think are 3 difficulties that a cricketer faces? So being an actor that's a cricketer and then a real cricketer, what do you think?
Firstly, time, right? Because time, age catches up. Age catches up with the best of you. You're in your prime at a certain part of your life, and then your abilities will start dwindling. It happens to the biggest names, not just in cricket, in any sport, right? So that's one thing. Secondly, we're a country of 1.3 billion people. We're a cricket-loving country. Now just imagine how many people want to play for India, how many people want to play the IPL, how many people want to play professionally, which is the 0.00001% chance of a boy or a girl actually making it into those teams.
Mhm.
So you're literally kind of putting your life, it's a huge gamble, it's a huge risk, right? I mean, if it pays off in a big way. But if it doesn't, man, so that's something that I think a lot of, that's a insecurity that a lot of cricketers have got to grapple with. And thirdly, I still feel, not that I have any concrete evidence to support my claim, but I still feel that there is a certain amount of favoritism that goes on. I feel, especially in our country, I'm not just talking about the national team, I'm just talking generally. I feel sometimes players are not given opportunities just based on their merit,
Mhm.
but because of who they're friendly with or what camp they're in. That happens in the Bollywood industry all the time, but I also
Yeah.
do see it happening over here. So that is very sad because I mean you should be given a game, or you should be given your place or your jersey based on your merit and on your skill set, as
Yeah.
opposed to, yeah, all these other things. So these are the
Yeah.
three
No,
things I feel. Yeah,
definitely. So now let's get to know you a little bit better. So one
sure.
thing is, how do you stay so humble? So I've definitely seen, you're someone that's kind of very active in terms of fanism and everything, whether it be commenting back or, sharing whatever they're posting. So kind of how have you become so humble as a person?
I feel the more popular you get, the more famous you get, the more humble you need to be. And you don't need to do it to show people or for anyone else. You need to do it for yourself. Because
Mhm.
many a time what happens is you start living in that little ivory tower of yours. And I see that happening to a lot of people. And that's such a shame, because at the end of the day, acting is my job. It's something I love, but it's still my job. I'm first a human being. I'm first a person. If I don't show you the respect or regard that you show me, and if I
Mhm.
am kind of condescending, or I'm not, and I'm disrespectful to anyone, a fan, a well-wisher, even a critic, I mean, why do we always need to just be good to people who are good to us? What if someone's criticizing? You need, as
Yeah.
long as no one's getting personal and mean and nasty. See, I think that's not cool, but
Yeah.
you have to show that, because
Yeah.
Roshni, at the end of the day, whatever I am, whatever we are as actors, if I'm able to get more opportunities, it's because of Inside Edge. Why do I
Mhm.
have Inside Edge? Because you guys endorsed it, because you guys liked it. That's why we had a season 2. You guys like season 2, so we have a season 3. You
Yeah.
guys like me on that, so other producers, other creators, other agencies come up and offer me good roles.
Mhm.
I get to charge more money, stuff like that. So everything is kind of connected to each other. I mean, are we not finding that out at this time of a lockdown, that we are all actually connected far deeper and far greater than we actually ever
Yeah.
thought? Like, everything has come to a standstill, and we realize how actually codependent we are on one another to survive. So, as an actor, we are. I mean, it's in my best interest to be good to everyone and be genuinely good, not just to show people that, oh my God, I'm so humble. You
Yeah.
have to be humble. You have to
Mhm.
be humble, because, see, for better or worse, when I started off my career, I thought things are going to be a walk in the park. Oh, I have a famous parent. Oh, I was young. I was a little naive. I was a little stupid. I was a little arrogant about stuff. And very soon after a couple of movies came out and they did not perform to expectation, I realized, oh my God, this shit's real. And if I don't make it
Mhm.
in my next attempt, I'm probably not going to have a career. I'm going to have to like pack my bags up and think of something else to do. And luckily, I got my get out of jail pass with Inside Edge. So it's very important that you value that, because I've seen that certain amount of failure very early on in my life, in my career. It makes me value success even more. So
Mhm.
you'll never find me grumbling on set, oh my God, kitna kaam karwa rahe, how much are they making us work
Yeah.
this? There are a lot of actors do that, because I'm hungry. I want to give each take like it's my last. I want to be each day on set like it's my last day. If I'm playing cricket, I want to hit each shot like it's the last time, because we play a lot of cricket during shooting of Inside Edge. I don't know what they're going to keep. That's the editor's job. That's the director's job. It's not my job. My job is to give them enough material. And if I'm not in the present, and if I'm not being trying to be the best version of myself, I can't go out there and give my best.
So one speaking of that, how were the training sessions like for Inside Edge? Kind of like, how hardcore was it? Um,
Very intense, but super fun. I mean, very intense. And, we have amazing coaching staff who are there with us every step along the way. They kind of plan everything out because everything's scripted, right? So at the same time, we can't exactly follow the script. So like, I mean, if it's written, for example, Vayu hits a 4 of his back foot through the covers, I have to hit according to the merit of the ball. I have to hit according to a lot of things, otherwise it looks fake.
Yeah.
So we just take a bunch of usable stuff and then we kind of like sculpt that and see what can fit in where and all. But the training camps are really intense, and it's not optional. It's mandatory for every actor to participate and be part of every session. So we have it before we start principal photography. We have it before we have a cricket schedule, a cricket dedicated schedule. And yeah, I mean, they take care of everything. They take care of if you're carrying any injuries. We've got physios on set. We've got I mean, on season 2 actually I was in a lot of pain because I had scapular injury going on that time. So in between all that aggression and stuff and hitting those boundaries and doing all those crazy things, I would be on the ground, and they had this wonderful girl Hiba who was actually just giving me like dry physiotherapy and putting the needles in me, and there were times I've had like 50 needles in my back, and it was really painful. But when you see the end result and when you see people warming up to it, oh my god, we love your aggression, oh we love what you did in that 6th episode and how you hit that century and this and that, it makes all of that seem so freaking worth it. It's a kick, it's a thrill. So I have, I mean, nothing but gratitude towards this entire setup in this production.
What's your favorite shot to play?
My favorite shot, I like the cover drive, and to spinners I like to come down the track and like just smack it over long on.
Okay.
So yeah.
Who's been your favorite co-actor or actress to work with so far?
Roshni, there have been so many wonderful people I've worked with. It would be very unfair for me to kind of pinpoint one person, but I do really enjoy working with Angad. I enjoy working with Shavani. I do enjoy working a lot with Siddhant. Right now, I'm shooting for the show called Cartel, as I mentioned. So I'm working with, if you've seen Sacred Games, Kartikar. So Jitendra Joshi is on that wonderful actor. Fabulous. Ritvik Dhanjani, another great guy, working with Supriya Pathak ma'am right now. So a lot of really good talent, and I mean, they really make sure that you up your own game. So I always want to be in a frame with actors I look up to and people who I consider to be superior than I am, because that really helps me bring my A game and be the best version of me. So there's a lot of these people that I consider to be like really great co-stars.
I feel like there's always so much to learn.
Absolutely, absolutely.
People,
I mean, whether you're in your 30s or whether you're 60, 70, 80, I mean, you can constantly learn, and then that should be the attitude that we have.
Yeah. What is one destination you would like to visit?
Well, right now, I just want to get out of my house and go to any place that has a cricket pitch so I can start playing. But I mean, in under normal circumstances, I have a couple of places that I love going to. One is Gold Coast, Australia. I love that place. And another is this small hill station in the south of Poland called Zakopane. It's heaven. So these are the two places.
What's your favorite chocolate?
What's my favorite chocolate? Oh, man, I have a crazy sweet tooth. So anything that Lindt and Lindor makes, I mean, especially the white chocolate. I also like the white Toblerone a lot. I mean, so yeah. And I like Skittles, and I love Mars, and I love Line. So I have a lot of
clearly.
I love chocolate.
If you could use 3 words to describe yourself, what would they be?
Fun, moody, out of the box. Yeah.
Okay. We're going to play 2 quick games. So the first one is, I know you're a Marvel and DC fan. I can see those statues behind you.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
So I'm going to name a character and you need to match it to a cricketer.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so Captain America.
Captain America, Mahendra Singh Dhoni.
Okay. Hulk.
Hulk. Hulk, not really angry. There used to be a South African bowler called Andre Nel, and he was always angry. And like, so I think he's Hulk. Yeah.
Okay. Iron Man.
Iron Man. Iron Man would be I think I'll probably give to Virat Kohli.
Okay. Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, I would give it to Rishabh Pant.
Rishabh Pant. Why?
Uh, because he's kind of that new kid on the block, and he's over enthusiastic, and sometimes
Yeah.
that kind of ends up getting him into trouble. And that isn't that
Yeah.
what Pant is all about? I mean, like
Yeah.
he's got so much of potential, and then he plays the most stupid shots to get out. But when it comes off, it's
Yeah,
a
when it comes
masterclass.
up. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And then Batman.
Batman, someone who's brooding and dark and very serious about the game, right? Who would that be? I mean, everyone's so yuppie these days. I think Batman would probably. I actually think I would give it to someone like a Rahul Dravid, because
Yeah.
there's something about Dravid that he's almost like a detective, like I mean, like he pros, cons, like you can just see him like kind of like deciphering everything and then kind of taking a calculated thing, kind of what Pujara is these days. But I think definitely Dravid would be Batman, like yeah.
Yeah. So how many
His
statues?
superpower is his concentration.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. How many statues do you have, and do you have a favorite character?
Yeah.
Do you know how
So
many
I
even?
have. I've actually been collecting for over 16 years. In fact, most of the stuff
Wow.
does come from America and Canada,
Okay.
and sometimes from like Singapore and Hong Kong, but largely from America. So I have about maybe 500 pieces in all. I
Wow.
believe it's the biggest collection in India.
I think so. My
Yeah.
dream is to have like a bat collection. Like I've been collecting, I have 6 or 7. So usually it's like
Yeah.
either from a friend or something. But my dream is to have Virat Kohli's used bat. So I'm gonna make sure one day I get it. But yeah, I want like a
that would be
wall of
something.
like bats.
That would really be something. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Wow.
like a huge bat collector. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's yeah.
Okay, so now we're just gonna play lastly a quick game of this or that. So 2 choices, pick one. Nice car or a nice home interior?
Nice home interior.
Glasses or contacts?
Glasses because I'm shit scared of putting anything in my eye. That's why I've actually got laser surgery done, so I don't never need to wear contacts.
So have you ever tried wearing contacts?
Soda bottle glasses.
Have you ever? So you haven't ever tried wearing contacts, or?
No.
Okay.
I tried. I just failed at it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I wear contacts, but I am looking into getting the laser surgery because then I hate wearing glasses.
No, you should. Yeah.
Pancake or waffles?
Oh my God. Waffle.
Okay. RCB or Mumbai Indians?
Mumbai Indians.
Mumbai Indians.
Though it's not my favorite team. Yeah, CSK is my favorite team, but Mumbai Indians
CSK
is
is your favorite team? Okay.
I love CSK, man.
Phone call or text?
Phone call.
Cardio or weights?
Definitely cardio. I hate doing weights. And I love doing cardio.
Music or podcast?
Music.
What's your favorite song currently?
So I actually listen to a lot of movie soundtracks depending on what mood I am in. I love listening to EDM. I love listening to psychedelic trance. So it really depends on what the mood is. These days I've been kind of binging on Vancouver Sleep Clinic's new album, Onwards to Zion. That's something that I really enjoy. So I have a pretty eclectic. I mean, if you look at my iPod, there'll be a bunch of different genres of music. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Online shop.
anything that Hans Zimmer does, because I just feel he does some amazing movie soundtrack scoring. So yeah.
Okay. Online shopping or shopping in store?
Online shopping while I'm shopping in a store. I've actually done that. I kid you not. I was in Singapore recently, and I love sneakers, right? And there was a pair of sneakers I really wanted, and I'm a size 12, so I'm like, hey man, I need a size 12. You're like, no, you take size 10, okay? I'm like, but I'm a size 12, bro. I can't take a size 10. No, can do. You take 11. I'm like, I can't bargain with you about the size of my feet. What do you want me to cut my toes off? I go on the online app StockX and I'm like, okay, boom, order it, and I shipped it to my aunt in America. So by the time I got back to India from Singapore, the shoes had reached. So I have literally done online shopping while I'm at a store. It's crazy. I love shopping.
That is crazy. Yeah. I love shopping as well. So definitely good. And
That's
America
one
is
thing I'm
definitely,
really missing about the lockdown. Yeah.
yeah. I've
Yeah.
been too scared to even shop online because there's been cases here where America, I mean, has the most cases, but there's been
Yeah.
cases where people who have not gone out, but maybe because of mail or anything have gotten the virus. I've just been like,
Yeah.
I'm not even
In fact,
shopping online.
something similar happened with a pizza boy in Delhi the other day. He was positive, and then because of that, he went to 80 homes, and now all the people from those 80 homes have been quarantined. So
Exactly.
it's
So
scary, right? I mean,
it is.
yeah,
Okay. So I do want to ask one other question. So do you know what bubble tea is? I mean, I know you
yeah,
travel a lot. You do. So are you a fan
yeah.
of bubble tea?
I love bubble tea. Yeah,
I do
with a nice big
too.
straw. Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Okay, well, next time if we do meet in person, we're gonna do a little something over bubble tea. Because my first show that I
Absolutely.
started in January was over cricket. I took cricketers to bubble tea because a lot
Oh,
of them have
really?
never had bubble tea. So yeah,
I love bubble tea. It's delicious and it's so much fun, like just
it
sucking it through that
is.
thick straw and stuff. Well,
I've been.
where exactly do you live in the
I
States?
live in New Jersey.
Dude, I was supposed to be in New York and Miami and Atlanta and Chicago next month. Can you believe it? For a 1 month
Really?
vacation. Yeah.
Well, next time
Obviously
you
that's not
come,
happening,
let
but
me know. Definitely let me know. There's
I
like
will.
really good bubble
Definitely,
tea
Roshni.
places here. Okay.
Definitely.
Well, thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Quarantine with
My
Rosh.
pleasure.
Hopefully you had some fun as well.